All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for some real people out there, just like you and just like me. All right, before I get going with this video, something in my collection I thought I would share with folks. It is an album by a band called Four Sticks. Four Sticks. Stefan Berggren is the main character in this band. He's a lead and backing vocals. And this came out a number of years ago, and I was hoping there would be a follow-up to this. If you're thinking it sounds like Led Zeppelin, yeah, it's probably more Bad Company than Led Zeppelin, but certainly some Zeppelin-ish qualities in there. You can find this online. You can stream it. It's classic rock, mostly 70s sounding classic rock, and there's really no downside to it. Really well produced. Guitar work is strong, and the guitar, just the sound of it, the guitar sound of it is really powerful. So if you like acoustic and electric guitars, Electric Celebration from Four Sticks, lead vocals by Stefan Berggren, who I believe I interviewed a long time ago. You think I would know about this, right? Stefan is one of those guys over in like Germany who is carrying the torch of classic rock from the 70s and 80s. Speaking of 70s and 80s classic rock, Steven Tyler is facing a lawsuit filed by a woman who claims she had a relationship with him back in the 1970s when she was a minor. Can someone say statute of limitations? Anyway, Rolling Stone is reporting in a suit filed in Los Angeles, the plaintiff Julia Holcomb is accusing the Aerosmith frontman of sexual assault, assault and battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Now, Steven Tyler, I think, already has some issues when it comes to his health and well-being, as Aerosmith just recently canceled a whole bunch of shows, or not a bunch, but a few shows in Las Vegas. It was their Vegas residency, and it went down in flames because we kept hearing about how Steven Tyler wasn't doing very well when it comes to his own personal health. And of course, they didn't get into specifics, and people like me start to, raise our eyebrows a little bit, wondering, wonder what it could be, right? Wonder if it's related to that whole push to get everybody to go to Walgreens. Gene Simmons, Sebastian Bach, Dee Snider. Anyway, Holcomb says she and Tyler were together for 3 years, starting in 1973. Okay, so she was with Tyler for 3 years. So let's go back to what she is claiming here. Sexual assault, assault and battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Now, she was 16 at the time and he was in his 20s. So my first question is, how come she didn't come forward a little bit sooner? Like, say, I don't know, in the 1970s, right? Holcomb claims she was powerless to resist the rock star's power, fame, and substantial financial ability. You mean she couldn't have just run away at some point? Was she chained up somehow? It says that he coerced and persuaded her into believing their relationship was a romantic love affair. She also says at 17 she got pregnant with Tyler's son, but he pushed her to have an abortion, alleging smoke inhalation from when their apartment caught fire hurt the baby. Okay. Wow, this is kind of complicated, and this goes back a number of years. I vaguely remember hearing about this situation. Holcomb claims he threatened to stop supporting her if she didn't have the abortion. She says after she had the abortion, she left him. Tyler does mention a relationship with a 16-year-old in his memoir, Does the noise in my head bother you? Although he doesn't name Holcomb in it, he does include a Julia Holcomb in the acknowledgments. So far, Tyler hasn't commented on the lawsuit. Wow. All right. So, yeah, of course, as far as pressuring her not to have the baby, that sounds about right. The only problem I have with all of this is the after the fact nature of it. It's 2022, almost 2023. What took you so long, Julia? If you're going to do this, you should have done it sooner. Now, if you're with the guy for 3 years, at some point during that relationship, especially if you're not enjoying the relationship, don't you just run away somewhere? I mean, unless he's got you caged up and chained to, the wall or the bed or whatever. I'm just trying to envision what and how this would work. Steven Tyler chains the 16-year-old to, I don't know, the bedpost or something, which again, if you're pretty resourceful, you can probably get out of that. Look, I'm not saying this is a frivolous accusation. I believe it probably happened. All of this probably happened. And you know what? During the 1970s, this kind of stuff was celebrated. This was kind of a resume enhancement. Groupies have written books. The Robert Plant groupie or whatever has a book out there. Pamela, I think her name is. And then there's Sweet Connie. Remember her from the Grand Funk song? And all of this stuff was celebrated. And now, hey, after the fact, the Me Too movement comes along, which, by the way, I think is at times a bit of a fraud. But I understand there are real accusations out there. I just think that if you're going to accuse someone, have some proof. Now, there's probably proof here. The problem is it's very old. And I'm thinking a court is going to say, what's this girl's name again? See, I've got Pamela on my brain. Julia. So, Julia, how come you didn't come forward sooner? Now, she may say something like, well, I was afraid that Tyler would retaliate. And, so I figured, he's in his 70s now and it doesn't really matter. So, yeah, I can go ahead and bring this forward. All this really does is tarnish a very damaged reputation as it is. I mean, look, nobody is sitting here claiming that Steven Tyler is this choir boy. He has had a history of sex, drugs, and rock and roll for a number of years. And some would say, well, it comes with the territory, dude. You're talking about a rock star. He's just behaving like a rock star. Yeah, for 3 years, if this is true, like assault and battery, if that's true, I don't care what business you're in, it's inappropriate. And I'm thinking, both people here are at fault. The woman for not, hitting the road quickly and getting the heck out of there. And Steven Tyler for just assuming that he can do this kind of thing because he's Steven Tyler. And yeah, as much as I like Aerosmith, this is just bad news. It's nothing that we kind of didn't already know about, but this gets into the media cycle, and the media, of course, will run with it. The whole situation with relationships has changed so much in recent years that even "baby, it's cold outside" is deemed a threat to the female population. See, that's where things get completely out of control and out of hand. This, however, if the accusations are true, this is real, but it's a pretty old claim. We're talking 45, 50 years. It's just a long time ago. And I understand why she wouldn't come forward, but I'm not sure a court is going to actually be overly convinced in this situation. They may believe Julia. The problem is the time that's gone by. If this was such a big deal in her life, you would think maybe in the 90s anyway, she would come forward. And that's still like 25 to 30 years ago. She wouldn't just do it at that point and, make a big stink about it. I don't know. We shall see where this goes. More bad news for Aerosmith, more bad news for Steven Tyler. This came at a really bad time. And as we head into 2023, the question is got to be, will Aerosmith even continue? I mean, they're having trouble doing gigs. Joey Kramer seems to be out of the picture. Steven Tyler fell off the wagon, allegedly got back on the wagon, but then didn't show up because he's got all these health issues, these mysterious health issues that keep plaguing humanity all over the globe. And nobody seems to want to talk about what that might be caused by, because again, if the lie is exposed, then, everybody has to admit that they were wrong. And this was the greatest conspiracy, whatever you want to call it, greatest crime against humanity in the history of the world. Although this may be completely unrelated, but I have a hunch that the Steven Tyler health thing could be related. Anyway, folks, that's my video. One more time on the band Four Sticks. This was a project that came out a number of years ago. It's called Electric Celebration. If you like Aerosmith, you might like Four Sticks, like old Aerosmith, old Bad Company, Led Zeppelin, because there is your Led Zeppelin 4 reference, the Four Sticks, and it's good music. That's all I can say. And as these dinosaur bands kind of fade away and catch up, or their past catches up with them, in this case, you need something else to listen to and look forward to. So that's my thesis on new music and why you need it. All right, I'm done. Thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.